of Jewish crime and vice. And in that reading, I would return often to New York City. There's a gang of rabbis, and I call them a gang because their sideline was that they would beat up husbands. His name is Abe Schoenfeld, and he was painted in these kind of footnotes and things as some sort of investigator of the underworld. Some historians referred to him as a researcher of the Jewish underworld of the Lower East Side prior to World War I. And then I came across characterization of him as a knowledgeable vigilante, which kind of got my attention because apparently he was more than a researcher or a journalist or somebody who interviewed people in the underworld and wrote things down like I do. He was actually involved in some kind of war on the underworld. And that little nugget was the nugget that I pursued. Every year more and more coming. And so by the time Abe is a kid, the Lower East Side is becoming the ghetto that we sort of know it to have been. And then all of a sudden, this stuff becomes illegal, and now it's starting to go underground more and more. Of course, there have been opium dens around forever when it was legal. So the Yiddish horse poisoners saw themselves through that lens. There are 70 to 100,000 workforces in the city, and it was brutal for them, particularly when the automobile started to go mainstream, and all of a sudden they had to compete with all these cars and the noise. The noise was incredible. And we're a fan of these policies, then information about the Jewish underworld was wonderful fodder for the things you wanted to see enacted. Foreign criminals in New York, and in this article he blamed the crime problem in the city on Russian Hebrews. He said it should be no surprise that a people who are naturally unsuited for physical labor and who lack language abilities should turn to poisoning horses and selling their daughters on the street. He did later retract his statements. He said that he had based his piece on faulty data. But at that point, it really didn't matter, because when I've worked on it for 2-3 years, and I went on to eBay one day and I stumbled upon these auctions where these incredible photos were being auctioned off week after week that were in fact pretty extreme, and they worked with impunity. Like I said,